with Jira Larry Love, episode 19.
19.
We have to make 20 special.
Yeah, we'll do 20 special.
Special edition.
Why don't we just stop now and we'll just go the night to 20? We'll make this real special.
You know what? The 20th episode. Maybe if they have a card, maybe we'll send them to you, my Florida Green, and maybe you could give them some of that CBD oil or my ounce of that good chronic.
Slow down. The show's already going where I thought it was going to go. We got to pay some bills here. Politicking,
that'll
Jira,
help
Larry
pay the
Love.
bills.
Sponsored by Jimmy P's Burgers More, Maxwell Mortgage Team, Blake Becker, okay guy, Becker Custom Builders, our guy Patrick Dearborn, My Florida Green. We'll get into that more. Alda's Diner, and our newest sponsor. Big shout out to Megan, Ocean Glass Skin. Great product. I already gave a couple samples to a couple ladies, and they absolutely love it. So
Wait, not just ladies. Did I see you putting it on your hands in my car the other day?
Oh, my man, what was going on?
it smells nice. She said it's for men and women, number one.
He brought me one for my wife, which I appreciate. But yeah, he's like, look, check it out. You know, it's like
good.
Real men or boy men, like those type of
I don't know. You put some on too. So
Nah, don't tell lies on me, Pat.
I don't
You
use a
didn't
lot
put
of
any
lotion.
on? Well,
Not, at
I'm
least not
comfortable
yet.
with my skin. So speaking of skin, Ocean Glass Skin. Each one of you, before you guys leave, oceanglassskin.com. Great holiday gift. You can get it on Amazon. Everyone's gonna buy a bottle today.
I got one. You gave me one. No, I'm not
Well, we're gonna buy one.
See,
Man.
All right, Megan.
we
Yeah,
got you.
shout out to
we
Megan.
got you.
We love Megan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And today I'm gonna let Larry give our special guest flowers because they have a good, close relationship. Even though Blake took the credit for bringing him on, so I don't know. It got like real testy. Larry said, "No, that's my guy." Blake said, "That's my guy." Well,
No,
whatever.
I just was talking about the podcast, and then when it was time for me to step aside, Larry stepped in.
That's
right?
what we
And
did.
closed the
Closed
deal.
the deal.
The
That's all.
closer, he brought in Mariano
Teamwork,
Rivera.
make the dream work.
That's right.
Well, me and
Did you
Blake
understand?
go back like 25 years. So,
pretty-
I don't even want to know it. Then.
Let-
Well,
let-
y'all, if you two go back 25 years, Jesus Christ, Lord, be with us. Be with us.
can't believe I'm still alive. And
Nor can I.
yeah, right?
Nor
So,
can I.
right.
Yeah.
That means God is good.
That's
Guys,
right.
good.
Amen.
Larry, help introduce our guest, please. Before Blake takes the show over. I'm glad. Thank you for speaking up today. You're comfortable now.
I'm getting a little bit more comfortable.
Today's special guest, you all probably have seen him all over the state. You probably heard his mouth all on Wink News, WBBH, talking about his fine product and talking about some of his amendments that's going on in the current Amendment 3 to be exact. You just see this guy around. When I first laid eyes on this guy personally,
Pause.
he was in the CCREC and he was letting people know exactly who he is, what he doing, how he felt. And man, I fell in love with a guy like just a real man, no holds barred. You'll know where he's standing at. And we've been very close ever since. It's an honor, man, to bring my buddy, my friend, Nick, to the show. Talk to us, Nick. What's going on, baby?
Well, that was quite an opening, and I appreciate that from a guy wearing pink, pink
here you
shoes,
go.
pink shirts. I mean, I gotta take advantage of the opportunity.
He's getting on me about wearing skincare, and he's wearing hot pink.
Well, it is
Exactly.
breast cancer
First
awareness.
of all-
so
first of
maybe
all,
he's
that
making
is
maybe
true.
he's making
That
a
is
statement.
You know, it is a statement. First of all, you know,
What's the statement?
I'm very comfortable in my sexuality.
Same here, buddy.
That's
It's
a
all
statement.
man. And they say real men wear pink, right?
Who said that? Who
Who
coined that?
Gay men wear
Yeah.
pink too. But anyway.
Liberace?
So anyway, back to
The-
me.
Back to you, sir.
So yeah, thank you for that intro there, Larry. So been in the medical marijuana space since 2016, November, when it passed. So exactly 8 years ago from coming up Wednesday, right? Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'm actually a software guy. A lot of people think I sell weed, but I do have products. It's a sister company, but we're actually a software development company. We created a software that facilitates the medical marijuana certification for the patient and the doctor, and basically manages the relationship from the beginning to end. And it's been phenomenal to be a part of it. We licensed it to 4 doctors back in 2016 when it first passed, and I quickly realized that the medical system is nothing shy of a criminal enterprise. The doctors were literally taking advantage of patients, charging them erroneous fees. I don't want to be a part of it, so I pulled the software back, found that it trademarked My Florida Green, partnered with some doctors that aligned with our abilities and efforts, and here we are. So we got 43,000 patients on our platform, 28,000 just here in Naples. So we've definitely spearheaded the most conservative county in Florida. I've gotten a lot of pushback and attacks. CCRAC was an interesting endeavor when I was getting voted in. And it was, I felt I had to defend myself, stand up on stage, and kind of push back a little bit. And I don't know if I won people over, but I was voted in, right? Um, but again, it's the medical marijuana. A lot of people forget the word medical, right? They just go to marijuana, and a lot of people we're stigmatized where we associate somebody smoking a joint, and it's a lot deeper than that. Obviously, people do smoke when they're using medical marijuana as treatment because it's the most recognizable and fastest in, fastest out, most controllable. But it's a lot more medicinal, in my opinion, to do edibles and tinctures and stuff like that. But we're helping people improve their quality of sleep, lower their anxiety. 67% of our patients reduce the need for prescribed medications, which I have data on. 45% quit drinking alcohol. I don't know if anybody's made a good decision drunk. You might not make a decision, Stone, but at least it wasn't the wrong one.
And buy more food.
Yeah, 85% improve their quality of sleep and lower their anxiety. So it's really a lot of statistical data that you can't even attach to any drug out there. So
is it addictive though? Once you get on something like that, then you'll have to have it.
There's actually zero addiction associated with marijuana other than feeling good, or if you find a gummy product that you take to go to sleep every night, and all of a sudden you run out of it, there might be an addiction there because you feel like you need that gummy to sleep again.
No different than a melatonin or a sleep aid or something that other people are other versions of the same product.
Melatonin's actually not good for you. It can cause anxiety and suicidal thoughts, and it's really bad to give kids. I find it interesting how parents give their kids melatonin, but it messes with your 5-HT1 receptors that uptake your excess serotonin and converts it to melatonin naturally. When you take melatonin, you shut that whole system down, and you have an overabundance of serotonin now, which will cause anxiety. Serotonin's great, but not an overabundance of it.
Listening to Nick talk reminds me of that Dave Chappelle movie, Half Baked. Would you go to weed college? God damn, this guy.
How high?
Nick, being around you and you showing me everything at your office and so forth, I was impressed by some of the numbers and some of the data that you showed me in reference to getting people off certain drugs. Could you please share your statistics and the numbers that you have with getting people off XYZ drugs and so forth?
Cool. No, I appreciate that.
And these are real numbers, unlike Larry Love numbers.
Wow. So we
Get
have
your questions ready.
we have a drug database. Can I put it up on the screen?
No, unfortunately, no.
There's
but
no screen share.
New studio will be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll have that set up for you next time.
When I collect the clips, though, I can put that.
Okay. So I just entered Xanax into our platform. So we have a drug database. So we record all the prescriptions that people reduce the need for. The state requires that patients to be recertified every 7 months. So during that time, we're able to capture a lot of data of the prescriptions that they reduced or the improvements of their life, right? So I just entered Xanax into my platform. First of all, 43,000 patients are on our platform. In the last 7 months, we have data of 2,778 patients who have reduced the need for Xanax. Here's the strain that they use, which is indica. Here's the route that they used, which is primarily smokable because it's the most controllable, but then edibles after that. And then I have the data on the dispensaries where they purchased it from. And I have that on every drug. So if I enter fentanyl in here, which is still, believe it or not, a prescribed drug, I have hydrocodone, Oxycontins, Adderall, so the data doesn't lie, so it's been
Do you have
awesome
to put that data in?
No.
So
It's
all
not state
connected.
required.
So if they go to, and I don't know about this business, but do they go to a dispensary?
Mm-mm.
It automatically uploads into your system, or how does that work?
No, and it's funny you bring that up because
Or was that a trade secret
that
you don't
was
wanna
the
talk
intent.
about?
No, not at all. I've got 3 million, a little over 3 million of my own money invested in this in 8 years now. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because, I
You believe
in
it.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I went all in. I mean, once I started seeing people improve their quality of life and get off of prescriptions, I'm like, all right, this is awesome. I'm going to go all in and document all this stuff and then hopefully work with the state. Well, contrary to my beliefs, the state, nobody in the sectors that should care have cared. right? And one of it is the dispensaries. I should be networked right with the dispensaries where the patients can scan the barcode of the products that they're taking and enter this data. But the dispensaries aren't interested in that. They're interested in Amendment 3, which you'll get into. They're interested in passing recreational to sell marijuana products to everyone 21 and over. So it's almost like we've transitioned from the medical program, which is what we passed as a constitutional amendment back in 2016, to now focusing on Amendment 3 and passing recreational marijuana. Amendment 3, in my opinion, is not really a recreational bill, but it does empower one dispensary to take over the entire state of Florida. All right. So, and in the way it's written, literally steps on the heads of the patients who have been funding them for the past 8 years. So, it's kind of a bait and switch. You see DeSantis campaigning like massively now on it. I feel like he's a little late, but I've reached out to him. I've served demand letters to his office, to the Surgeon General, Dr. Latipo, is that how you say it? And several other. I do have a meeting with his chief of staff on November 7th, so I'm excited about that, to demo the software, because our platform literally will bridge the gap between the doctor and the patient and the state, and even the dispensary, right? But I just want to. I'm doing the best that I can to not block recreational marijuana, because I'm not against rec at all. I don't think it should have ever been illegal. No one's ever died from a marijuana overdose in history. You can't say that about a ham sandwich. Someone's choked. Someone's died of salmonella.
Unless
right?
it was laced with something.
Yeah,
obviously.
well, nobody's lacing ham sandwiches with fentanyl. But
No, I'm talking about marijuana, but
but marijuana, right? Exactly. But I'm talking about overdosing on marijuana just in general. Now, you can feel like you're going to die if you eat a strong edible, right? So that, we can get into that later. But I really wish that DeSantis would lean on the medical program a little bit more, rather than the reefer madness kind of criteria that it seems like they're going back to like the 80s and 90s playbook of this is your brain on drugs, with the egg in the frying pan. Like the data that they're bringing up, and his wife's very active with it too. But they're just, that kind of rhetoric didn't work back then. So how is it going to work now?
Sure.
Right. So, the strategy I don't think was great. I think he should have leaned on the medical program. I would have been a great saving grace for his agenda for not necessarily blocking rec, but for blocking Amendment 3, because we have incredible medical statistics that we can demonstrate, so we're going to stay in business. A lot of people think that we're, going to go out of business once recreational happens.
And, speaking on everything you just said, to pretty much piggyback on the medical part, some of you may know and some may not, but I did have it on Facebook. My son was diagnosed with cancer. And when we was at Moffitt, the doctors told us about, the medical marijuana and so forth and everything else. And it was just by the greatness of God that Nick was in my life. And so, man, when I went to Nick and I told him about this and what the doctor said, XYZ, he like, man, say less. I know exactly what he need, get everything. Man, he got me a bag together and so forth, and told me, like, this is how your son, my son came in and got a card and did all that type of stuff and told me how he needed taken and everything else. Man, I can never appreciate you enough for doing that to my junior.
My pleasure, my honor.
Because that's a scary feeling when the doctor tell you if your son don't take to XYZ drugs, what they're going to give him for cancer, you're going to have to watch him wither away, suffer, and die.
Yeah.
No parent is fit for that.
No.
I mean, no human being, period. And like, man, it did something to me. But, people don't even know what I was going through mentally. But I just kind of kept going on and going on. But, man, I was breaking down. But I appreciate you a lot, Nick. You was there.
My pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Well, to clarify, I didn't give you a bag.
I
I gave you a bag of stuff. Yes, but
that can go a number of different ways.
Listen, let me go ahead and be clear. For the people who really don't know and don't know me, I never in my life, not once, got high. I never smoked.
Oh, sorry.
I never in my life have smoked
allergies.
marijuana.
There's dust
You
in
find
here.
someone that can say, I have ever got high.
You grew up around people that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You know, and they
I'm
always
messing
just
with you. I'm
graduated
messing
to
with
something else. So that was one of the main reasons why I never got high, but I never did. So please don't take that what I said.
Well, the bag could have
about
meant,
bag
comment. That could have meant a number of things.
But
so
the
clean
bag
that up.
the bag that I gave you was of our CBD oil, right? So, and we went over like a regimen because a lot of people think there's 160 cannabinoids to the plant, right? THC and CBD are the top two most medicinal. The THC is the fun stuff, primarily pain, sleep, escaping, getting high is associated with that because it's psychotropic. That's what binds to the receptor. The CBD blocks the receptor, so it can actually reverse the high. A lot of people don't know that. I wish I knew that in my first edible experience. I ate 100 milligram Chiba Chew in Colorado. I didn't think I was dying. I thought I died and went to the other side, and I was trying to get back. I almost called my dad to say goodbye. But anyway, but the CBD, what a lot of people don't know is CBD is the most medicinal cannabinoid. It's just not as sexy because you don't get high, but it actually has more medicinal benefits than the THC, but you need both, right? So that's what you got a bag of like our products that we have at the office. We sell a lot of CBD to our patients that come in because the dispensaries don't really offer it. They offer like THC products only with some some CBD ratioed products. But so I like people that, especially the beginners, I like people to have CBD on hand. So if they do get into that psychotropic state and they don't like how they feel, they can take the CBD to reverse it, especially the older people. The 60s, 70s, and 80-year-olds are very susceptible to, well, I'm not going to smoke that, but I'll eat that, so then they end up buying a couple of chocolate bars. And if they're a fat kid like me, they eat 2 of them, and then they end up in the ER because they have no idea what's happening. It all metabolizes at once. So.
And how young is Chiang? Because I was with a friend the other day, and she was telling me, because she helps with autistic children too, and there was like a 15 or 16-year-old who had an aggression problem, and they put him onto medical med, and it really worked, calmed the person down. So how young is too young? If
we've certified a 2-year-old before, a leukemia patient, and this was when we first started. So there's really no, I think anything younger than that's a little bit much, but if you're doing, especially with autism, we see unbelievable results with autism, but the challenge with autism is there's like 200 different versions of it. Right. So, and CBD and THC can actually, reverse the effect can reverse. So I've given a child that at the age of 10 in my office a shot of CBD, with his parents' consent, and he started bouncing off the wall. Like he just went nuts. And usually CBD is calming you,
sure,
right? But then they administered THC once he was certified, and that chilled him out. So it's really it's an experiment.
Yeah,
and
she said it worked wonders. On the kid,
that's what makes it a little bit of a challenge, because it is an experiment. You have to titrate on your own a little bit because everybody's different. We could all do the same dose, and size does not matter, at least with this situation. So
catch that, Larry.
Usually the bigger they are, the harder they fall, because THC binds to fat, whereas somebody who's really thin can actually metabolize THC a lot faster. So.
Okay. Well, at what point do you think Collier County opens up a dispensary? Is that
never?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Wasn't it talk about Marco Island possibly?
Well, they opened one.
They did
Marco,
open one.
yeah.
Well, that's
That's
Collier
city.
County.
Yeah.
No, that's city.
Yeah,
okay.
It's unincorporated Collier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
they could do it in Naples City too, but that's probably
Well,
different.
that ain't
happening.
happened.
Yeah. Well, I've been to most of those meetings. I've spoke, to the commissioners. The last one I went to was really just to counterbalance some of the ridiculousness that these people were, making statements about, about how it kills people and yada yada. But I was at a meeting the night before the Collier Commissioner meeting with Commissioner Saunders, and I asked him, like, what are the chances? He goes, it's they would have to replace everybody with Democrats, So, but at the end of the day, I understand why, because here's what a lot of people don't really understand or realize is that they're called MMTCs right now. They're not called dispensaries. So even though that's what they are, but MMTCs, medical marijuana treatment centers, and every MMTC that's established, regardless of the county that they're in, so Lee County, we call it the Green Mile now. I think there's like 13 or 14 dispensaries in Bonita. So not too far away, and then you get one in Marcos. Sure. So, but every one of those dispensaries are now going to become recreational when recreational passes.
If it passes.
flips. Yeah.
If it passes.
Yeah. I'd love to say if the woman that wrote the bill is the CEO of the biggest dispensary, and she spent 144 million as of yesterday. So I don't think you spend that kind of money unless you anticipate
Expect it to pass.
And they paid off so many people, man. DC Drano got 200 grand, right? So he's posting about it. I mean, Trump endorsed it. So I mean, who knows what that dollar amount was? I mean, but Kim met with him at Mar-a-Lago. She went over there. So. She is a pretty blonde, so I'm sure Trump was like, "Yeah, I'll talk to her,"
Right.
But there's been a lot of people that have been, sponsored or paid, and it's money talks, and again, it's just if anything, it's going to maybe clean up our space a little bit because we'll get the people that don't want to be part of our platform anymore that just want to buy weed. It doesn't mean that they're not sick or they're not using it medicinally, but they don't want to be part of the program and spend the extra money to maintain the car and the doctor appointment. Then that's probably it'll definitely serve those people well. But then when they go to the dispensary and try to buy products and realize they can't get the milligrams that they could in the past and it's taxed heavily, they'll be back. So there'll be a retraction in our business, but then they're going to come back. So
from what I understand, it didn't really work out that great in Denver. Initially, it did.
Nowhere out west,
but
they was different in Colorado. They didn't have everything in place, and they didn't know how to run that.
Well, they were first too.
Yeah,
it was the first one.
But
city
went downhill pretty quick from what I heard.
Denver, the homeless is insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
urinating
insane.
on the street.
But,
even
when you look at that, you look at the entire West Coast. Everyone that done it, everything from Oregon, Washington,
California,
and everything else. Of course, Cali. Look what happened. You got to have everything in place. And I don't think, especially the state of Florida, we don't have everything in place.
Well, they're also passing it as a constitutional amendment. So I mean, this is permanent.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference.
Yeah.
That's permanent.
Yeah. No other state's done it like that.
Yeah, because they all trying to reverse it now.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to reverse it out west.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the problem is it just gets out of control, and
Sure.
if the government tries to overregulate it, and then what happens when that happens, right? You have, basically a revolution, So, but we're in a civil war right now between hemp and cannabis. The hemp space, you see, kind of, quasi pot shops all over the place right now because they're selling CBD. But there's what a lot of people don't know is in 2018, President Trump kind of made marijuana legal already because he signed the hemp bill into law, which makes all parts of the hemp plant legal. So what he didn't anticipate is that you can spin and manipulate the cannabinoids from hemp and actually yield a higher THC. And yes, it's chemically modified, but there's a chemical modification that's happening when you take a lighter to a joint too. It's actually THC-A, which isn't psychotropic, but once the flame hits it, it decarboxylates it and turns it into THC, which is what's the psychotropic part. So you have all these hemp stores that are now selling THC-A flower, and as soon as you take a lighter, it turns into cannabis. So it's like, well, I mean, it's already legal. So why
I
do we
heard
even
that story before, but it was different. It was almost like cocaine and crack. You add baking soda and water to cocaine, and
It's a whole new product.
Yeah.
That's when it become a controlled substance.
Cocaine does come from a plant too.
I know.
But now that's a big chemical modification.
Yeah.
And,
It's still a chemical modification.
yeah.
and throw a little ether in it. And, you got magic.
And there's definitely overdoses associated with
Oh,
cocaine.
yeah.
So
Big time.
All right, we're going to get into rapid fire. Then we'll spend the last 10, 15 minutes just kind of freestyling. I don't know if you're familiar with this format, Nick.
I'm
You got
not.
answer one or the other. You answer both. We call you a Democrat. So you got to
It's not new. It's not new.
Going to keep it, marijuana related. I know you're a big sports car guy and house music guy. So
Yeah.
for those that don't make, and a little political. So, all right, Governor DeSantis or Governor Scott?
Governor DeSantis.
Lamborghini or Ferrari?
Lamborghini.
Beamer, Benz?
Benz.
Rolls?
No disrespect, Blake.
No, it's all good. I love a Benz.
Larry will agree with you. Rolls or Bentley?
They're both shit. But Bentley.
Hear that?
He knows.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's like a boat. It's a money pit. DJ Testo or Robert Miles?
First of all, it's Tiesto.
Tiesto.
Okay.
Get him.
And
Get him.
And then what was the second one?
Georgia Costa.
Georgia.
Oh no, DJ Tiesto, Robert Miles,
Definitely Tiesto.
DJ Acosta or Afrojack.
Afrojack, George Acosta. No disrespect, George. We're friends, but your ship has sailed.
Yeah, go back with the Acosta too. Got a funny story for you, Taylor. Club Space or the Mix?
I threw that one in.
That's
I
a
threw
Blake
that
bag.
one. I wanted to
I'll
know.
give credit to Blake on that one.
I honestly missed the mix.
The mix.
The mix was
The
so
whole
awesome.
way,
The place opened at 4 a.m. and closed at noon. You know, but sometimes
That's almost like Space, though.
Space
Well,
was,
it
I
was
think,
pre-Space.
open-
Space
Yeah.
is it was before Space, and it actually Space put that place out of business.
yeah.
But that's where we used to. That was our stopping grounds, and it wasn't that much bigger than this room.
No.
Lost
But,
a lot of brain cells at Space.
Yeah. So, but Space is Space is definitely awesome too. But I would say the mix because that was our stopping
Special
grounds back in
times.
the
That
days,
was just certain, an era.
Trump or Reagan?
Trump.
Clay and Buck or Hannity?
I don't know who Clam Buck is.
You really?
No.
I thought you. Okay, well,
I guess Hannity because I know him
okay.
or I know who he is.
Capitol Grill or Ruth Chris?
Either.
Capitol Grill. I mean, Ruth Chris throws a stick of butter in a petri dish with a steak, and they serve a TSL.
How about Trulux or Chops? If you want to go a little more upscale, then
Nosh for sure.
Trulux
Yeah.
is good,
Nosh.
though.
Yeah, that's right.
That's my jam.
Trulux is good.
I
Very
love
Shout out
very-
Todd Johnson.
Yeah,
Nosh.
yeah. I was just there last night. Yeah, but Trulux is good. A little commercial, but and Chops, hell no. Chops, they ruin themselves. Man.
I agree.
Yeah, the one on Fifth.
Don't
one
tell
on-
that to Dan Colwell. though.
The one in Bonita is great, but the one on Fifth Avenue, I don't know what it is, but it's just like snooty and arrogant. I don't know.
Speaking of that, man, it's time for us to get out again for a nice steak too, bro.
All right.
A Method Man or Red Man?
Oh, they're both awesome. Meth Men.
Agree. Wu Tang or Outkast?
Oh, both. Wu Tang.
That is a tough one.
Yeah.
JD Vance or Byron Donalds?
Oh man, that you guys booby
Told
trap
you
me.
it was gonna be easy. This is why people don't want to come on.
You guys definitely booby trap. Right now, JD Vance, but I think Byron is definitely a candidate coming up very soon.
Probably make a good governor.
I like that.
Yeah, he would. For sure.
2001 or The Chronic? The Chronic, the original, or 2001?
Dr. Dre.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay, The Chronic.
Okay. You got anything?
This is hard.
Do I have anything? I don't know. Me and Larry was talking like maybe we should put you in the hot seat. You're always asking the questions.
Yeah.
What you think, Larry?
What you got?
Yeah. Let's go ahead, Pat. Go ahead, Blake.
Let me see. I just happened to write a few things last night after texting Larry.
That's dangerous if you're texting Larry at night.
Oh, it was business, professional.
Okay.
Yeah, you know. All right, I got you. Tupac or DMX?
Tupac,
Okay. Kendrick or J. Cole?
Kendrick,
Boys in the Hood or New Jack City?
Boys in the Hood,
Really? Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction.
Really? I like Reservoir Dogs.
Well, you're asking me the question.
Okay. Man. He feel the heat. Man.
Well, I'd call that
All right,
tension.
ready? Blonde or brunette?
Burnett,
Funny. Real or fake? And I'm not talking personalities.
real. That's how only when we get down, baby.
All right. All right. You got anything?
Brazil or America?
South America.
That's the continent.
I know.
I said the country.
For what?
I don't know. I just said country, North America or Brazil. Whatever, however you want to take it. Brazil or North America?
I like Brazil.
You like Brazil?
I do.
Okay.
Colombia, baby. Colombia.
Colombiana.
That's right.
50 Cent or Larry Love?
Larry Love.
That's a close one.
Oh, man.
You might be
He
the
loves
only
50,
person.
though.
You might be the only person.
He loves him some.
You might be the only
listen.
person above 50.
You know what's crazy? I was looking at Facebook, the memories today. We had made a post about, we having that the 50 Cent, the effing vodka thing going on.
Was that this time? At
Yeah, and it was,
Fountain's
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, unfortunately I was in, I had to go take a vacation.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah. So yeah, I only had a few rapid fire.
Okay.
What's new
Okay.
in your life, Pat? Like, tell
He
me
did
what's
pretty
going
good.
on, Pat?
Well,
Like,
my
how you
life
feeling,
is-
Pat?
I feel great. Life is
Yeah.
good. God is good. Surrounded by good people. But
Do you got your eye on a special woman or anything? Like, what's new? Like,
no, we're
It's a tough town to be signaling, isn't it? You don't really meet people; you meet their representatives.
Yeah,
you
you
definitely do.
I think that's kind of the case with any introduction of peoples.
Yeah, it's
People always bring a representative; they don't bring themselves.
yeah, exactly. It's always trying to be somebody else.
You definitely gonna meet me.
Well, that's yes. There's about 5% of us that bring our actual.
if you're lucky enough
self.
to.
I mean, I know for me, I care what people think. You know, I'm a businessman. I'm a father. I'm trying to live certain morals and values. So I have to try to behave a certain way that those are representative. But like you said, like we're in the back room over here, you get the real meat. We're chopping it up. You know, so I think everyone has a little bit of a facade or presentation that they can bring.
I wish I'm working on that. I wish
You
I
two
could-
don't.
I
I
wish
know
I
you
care
two.
what people
Yeah.
think.
No.
You know, I should a little bit more. I'd have less enemies, but I just, I'm
You-
47 years old.
you think
the day
about
after
it, though.
tomorrow. I don't give a fuck anymore.
If you really have to really concern yourself with what people think,
Yeah.
how can you actually live?
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I'm
you-
not acting. I'm
yeah,
not putting on a show for anybody except myself. I'm the star of my own movie.
That's
You
right.
want to watch it? Go for it. If not, make your
Turn
own
the
movie.
channel.
Yeah, exactly.
And talk about a little bit about your background,
Oh gosh.
because you weren't
How
always
de-
in
how
the
deep do you want me to
medical.
go?
The streets are watching.
Yeah.
The streets are watching.
There
I,
is no statute of limitations on.
I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out of high school when I was 16 in 10th grade. I just couldn't watch or be educated by teachers that made 30 grand a year. No disrespect to teachers out there, but I just couldn't watch these teachers that were making 30 grand a year tell me how life was when I knew I could make 30 grand a week. So I dropped out of high school, went to work, started making six figures at 17, been successful my whole life with multiple failures in between. I'm only as good as my failures, but I was in the exotic car business for 14 years. Went through an embezzlement, a sales tax audit, and a divorce all in 1 year. So if I wasn't a candidate for suicide, I don't know who would be. But I told the bankers that I was too good looking to kill myself, and they laughed at that. What I went through financially, I mean, I've been broke to millionaire 3 times. I never want to be broke again, but if I do, I'll come back faster and more fierce, So I'm a fighter. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't take any shit from anybody. Most people that follow me on social media know that. The few that come at me don't know me. I employ an attorney full time who's part of my staff, so he's not a retainer. And I did that about 2 years ago because of the kind of the business that I'm in, but also I'm constantly getting sued because I'm collectible or appear collectible. People just think that I'm rich because I'm in the marijuana space. So that part's a little sad, but at the same time, I've definitely learned how to deal with those types of people and having a little fun with that actually. So, but I'm an entrepreneur, at heart, and again, only as good as my failures. So I hope that didn't sound too douchey. But
No.
Yeah.
What's your boys' take on? I think there's an election on Tuesday. What's your prediction on what's going to happen and the aftermath?
Are you asking me?
Everybody, but you can lead off.
I think it's going to be a embarrassing landslide, but I don't think we're going to
No
know
way.
the results.
No.
No,
Well,
I don't think we're going to
you
know the
can't.
results.
Well, you
like,
can't
right
say
away.
it's going to be a landslide, and won't know the results, and that's part of the problem because, you used to be able to, by the time you go to bed at night,
Yeah.
you knew the election results, and 2020 taught us differently. I remember we were at Seed the Table for Byron's thing. We left like 11, 12 p.m. and Trump's up big in Michigan, Pennsylvania. Go to bed at 2, slightly down, but like Trump won. Like,
Yeah. Well, I went
and
to
then
bed
there
thinking
was
Trump
just,
won too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there was just a drip, 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 drip.
Was it a drip? Because it seemed like a wave.
it
It seemed like
seemed like an immediate
yeah.
uptick for
Yeah,
some
well,
reason. I
it
don't
was
know.
slow.
It
It's
was
kind
a
of
pipe
drippy.
broke.
Well, so somehow a couple
Call the plumber.
100,000 votes pop up here, pop up there,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yeah.
But you think
He likes that word allegedly.
I got to cover
Yeah, I
myself,
know.
cover the show. So you think Trump, basically, you're saying if it's a fair election,
think
he
he already
wins
won.
clearly, but you think it may not be as clear cut as that.
Yeah, I think we might even be, a month after before we even find out the
Then
true results.
he's not going to win. If we find out a month after, there's no way Trump's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that aspect. When I say that, I think he already won because the trajectory of everything, it's really similar to the 2016 election where he ran against Hillary. I see a lot of similarities there. So
she pulled ads in Georgia and North Carolina. Do you think that's because she conceded there, or because there was so much early voting, or she thinks she's got those states?
That's right. Yeah,
I thought that was kind of interesting. She pulled all her ads.
She dropped like $2 million that she had committed, and she pulled it back.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. But then someone said it could have done to do with early voting too. So many people early voted.
Two major swing states. So some kind of data she got one way or another. I find that interesting. But I think it's going to come down to Pennsylvania and Michigan. In Georgia, it was already 60-something% already voted.
So that it could have been a fiscal decision. What do you? This is the last show before the election. I want everyone's prediction on what's going to happen in 30 seconds or less. Because Larry's got to go to.
I think it's a razor thin.
I agree.
Razor thin. I'm really afraid. I really want Trump to win, but it's so close.
Now, who you want to win? What do you think is honestly going to happen?
Don't say it.
I can't call it. It's just too close.
It's good.
Yeah. It's too close. And
if it drags on for weeks, if not months, can you imagine the state of the country?
If it's popularity, Trump win by a super landslide.
Yeah, but in the popular vote, you think Trump will win the popular vote? I don't think so.
Hell yeah.
I thought he already
did. Man.
He did it against Biden.
We know it's way more women in America than men. Way more women voters.
Sure.
What also divide a lot of elections? Abortions.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you think about a lot of stuff that's at the top, what they all talking about, they talking about those type of issues.
If he loses, it will be because of those two factors.
When you look back in the mid-election, when we supposed to just swept America with a red wave.
Didn't happen.
We didn't.
Because of
abortion.
Correct.
And a lot of women, even though I keep telling people, a lot of women will not have abortions, but no one wants to be told what to do.
Correct. Yeah. You're absolutely correct. Until the Republicans figure that part out.
And a lot of people feel like, man, I might have freedoms. And not only the Democrats, but it's a lot of Republicans that
it kind of goes against what you say is if you're for government staying out of your life, but
true.
So not that I'm for abortions, but I think it should be a state issue, and I think the government should basically stay out of it.
I'm that new wave type of Republican. Like, I don't even like to use that word. I'm just a staunch conservative. But when you think about them old country club Republicans, them Ronald Reagan Republicans, you can't see them voting for Trump. I just can't see them really just getting out there marching for Trump. And I often tell people, you cannot love Trump and love Reagan. You can't love both of them.
Nope.
It's impossible.
Different people.
2 different times.
Definitely 2 different times.
Yeah.
2 different times.
Both actors, though.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. both TV or TV personalities. I should say.
You're
so
not wrong.
It's celebrity.
Because when I'm out there, it's like even when the last election, like I heard a lot of super stunts. Like, and when I was in Cape Coral, it was like no, and that was the biggest Trump area in the state of Florida. It was like no, we're not voting for Trump. We're not voting for Trump. We're not voting for Trump. And
so you're saying they're going to vote for Harris? They're just not going to vote.
They just won't vote.
Or let me tell you something. I know a couple people
just won't vote.
This is baffling that Republicans, business owners, lifelong Republicans, they say, and they basically one said they're not going to vote because there's an election. The other person said he's probably going to vote for Harris. I call him a Democrat to his face. He got pissed off, but you can't call yourself a Republican. You're going to vote for Kamala Harris. I don't care. If you want to pretend to be a business owner and fit in this town. What's your prediction, Blake?
My prediction is Trump, but I think it's going to get real messy. And I don't know what's going to happen after that. That's what she said.
talked to some military people that have made statements that they're doing, but they've been practicing for the past year domestic warfare.
Yeah,
They're
I've heard that.
Civil war.
Yeah, they're practicing.
It's gonna be
to-
civil war.
Yeah.
If he
And, like,
wins, that's probably going to be something that we have to deal with. If she
he loses,
wins-
either way.
Yeah, if she wins, I think a lot of people, not even in America, but internationally, are going to see the machine is really taking over.
Yeah.
And that could get messy too.
Yeah.
That could
Yeah.
show our weakness,
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
so I don't know. It's definitely unprecedented times, right?
And I know you're
unprecedented times.
Yeah,
You
I know you're a big Bernie Sanders guy, but
Yeah,
you
you know
got-
me and Bernie.
And before I get
Old
off,
school.
before we
friends.
get off the air, I just got a message.
is that what was going off in the
No,
headphones?
no,
Or
no,
was-
no.
D, you playing Pac-Man back
No.
there? What's going on?
Listen, I got to get a lot of love to Blake over here in Becker Custom Builder Homes.
Lord.
Yeah, man. They didn't put in my garbage disposal, my ceiling fans, and everything else, man. Like, I really appreciate that. One time for Becker Custom Homes.
Hey,
you did an
we-
amazing
We
job.
heard you had something special you needed taken care of at home, so we got you.
Gotta
We got you.
do that. Gotta
I think
do
he
that.
made a special trip for you too. I mean,
Yeah, he did. He
Well,
did.
When you want the best, you call the best. Becker Custom Builders.
BCB.
Thank you.
Not
So, not what?
nothing.
Triple D.
No. What's Triple D? I thought.
That's our new nickname for Tim.
Stop it. You leave Tim alone. Leave my brother alone. Well,
Hey,
love you,
man.
Tim.
It's been fun. We got to run. I guess we'll see you on another one. Hey, it was great having you, Nick.
Pleasure having
All
you
right,
on.
Man,
thanks,
you know you
guys.
come on anytime, my brother.
Thanks for putting time in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make it-
Thanks for
No
having
to
me.
Amendment 3.
No
Yes.
to
No
Amendment
to
3.
Amendment
Yeah.
3.
Vote no.
Yeah.
What?
No to
And
Amendment
hell
4,
no
too.
to
Yeah,
Amendment
I was gonna
4.
say, I was gonna say, hell
100%
no
on the hell no
Yeah.
for 4.
Hell no.
Yeah,
That's right.
and vote for Trump.
If you're confused about any of the amendments, just vote no, because
Yeah.
those are constitutional where they solid, they
Yeah.
stuck, it's concrete. There's no going back. So if you don't know, just vote no, please.
And what do you do when inflation's high? Red hat stays on. Shout out to Hattis Levy.
Mhm.
Trump 2024.
Okay.
Get out there, vote in person too.
That's right.
All right. It's been real.
All right, cool guys. Thanks.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.